So today is Monday. For the last 2 months, I've been cleaning out my house. The reason I'm cleaning out my house is because I'm moving. Where to? I don't know. It is an adventure. Right now is an adventure. Terrifying to be just feel like I'm flapping in the wind. But about a year and a half ago, I suffered a bunch of strokes. Life changed me. Life changed me. The first couple months, all I could think of is how many times I drove with my son in the car while having these smaller strokes. Not mini strokes, not TSA, or whatever the heck they call them. Strokes. I was having strokes. I didn't want to admit that there was something really wrong, but I knew there was something wrong. And then the real big one hit. Easter night, a year and a half ago. My hand closed up on me. My face went numb. So numb that it was almost like, the only way I could describe it is, if you ever saw that movie, the Batman movie there, The Dark Knight, where Harvey Two-Face turns and his whole face is just empty. That's what it felt like. And it was so scary. I didn't call an ambulance still because I didn't want to wake my son up. But I knew I had to go to the doctor's the next day. I waited even longer. It's not funny, it's only funny because what else am I going to do but laugh? I waited even longer. Purposely sent a message to my doctor rather than calling because I knew they were going to say to go to the ER. They called me about 11 and were like, "We don't know what you're doing. Get out of work and go to the hospital now." And I did. I went to the hospital. And as I checked in, I was laughing at like all the stroke things. I'm like, well, I have that, I have that, I have that. Better not be stroking out. And I was. Who knew? The doctors, I guess. And it was terrifying when they told me what was going on. Terrifying. I was so mad. I was waiting for so long, and I had to pick my son up from daycare. And I threw a fit. I'm not that type of person. You gotta really push me before I throw a fit. And I threw a fit. I was like, listen, I'm leaving. I need to pick my son up. I'm leaving. So someone needs to find my nurse. Let her know I'm leaving. Take this IV out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, the nurse came back and said to me, "You can sit right back down. You're going nowhere. Call someone to pick up your son. You've been having strokes, and you had a pretty major stroke very recently. So unless you want to die, you're not leaving." And I was stunned. Absolutely stunned. Like, first of all, strokes? Like, what the fuck? Strokes? Come on. Strokes? I didn't know what to do. I had no one up here. I live in New Hampshire. I'm originally from Mass. I have people that I love up here, but in the middle of finding out something so incredible, not great, not a great incredible, but incredible. I couldn't even think straight. Finally, I got my neighbor, and he picked my son up. I called my sister and my daughter so that they could go and get him. I called my other sister, my brother, my work, and I texted my best friends, and I didn't know what to do. So I stayed there, terrified. That was when I realized I lived too far away from anyone that really could be there, which sucks, because I love my neighbors. They're family to me. But they have their own life going on, and I couldn't interrupt it for more than a few hours. It was bad enough to interrupt it for a few hours. Really scary time. My daughter, she's older. We don't speak. She doesn't speak to me. She was still speaking to me then, but she hasn't spoken to me in a while. And again, that's fine. It's not fine, but not the issue at hand. I needed someone to take care of my son so that I could not die. He doesn't have a father. I mean, he does, but his father, completely useless, has never laid eyes on him. Despicable human being. What can you do? I'll tell you what I did. I stayed in the hospital. I got this pretty badass scar. You can't really see it because the lights aren't on. I joke around and tell people like, oh, it was a pirate fight, shark bite, lethal stabbing because of my beauty. Like, whatever. It's funny. Everyone knows I had strokes because I'm very vocal about it. I just turned 48 the other day, a couple days ago. So, having a stroke was a shock. Having multiple strokes was a shock. Knowing that I drove to Canada and back while having strokes blew my mind. So here we are, a year and a half later. I haven't picked up a cigarette since, obviously. I've changed my diet. I've lost some weight. I've gotten stronger. I've gotten smarter. I've had terrible bouts of depression and fear and anxiety because you only have to understand you've had a medical emergency once before. Every fucking time you get the slightest tingling, you're like, what is happening? Am I having a stroke? I can't ignore this. Should I ignore this? Am I ignoring this? Oh my God. The what ifs. The what ifs. So many what ifs. It was really hard to get through. I felt really, really alone. But I got through it. And I'm sick of being alone. I'm sick of doing it on my own. I'm sick of not knowing what will happen if I do die in another medical emergency. I'm not anticipating one. Wasn't anticipating the last one though, so yeah, I'm selling the house and I'm fucking out of here. It's too stressful. Too stressful to maintain everything. Too stressful to be the only one that makes all the decisions all the time. So I have a couple of my best friends. One in particular is like the other half of me. My niece is like the other half of both of us. I really lean on my cousin, my niece, my besties. I really lean on them a lot. My sister too, my brother. I guess not as much as I really could. So that's where I am. I'm moving. I don't know where I'm gonna land. My guess is somewhere within New England. I have my son with me, and it is really something to tell him to trust me when I don't even trust myself. I mean, I do. I trust myself. But this is a scary time, and it's a stressful time, but it's also exhilarating. And let me tell you, my muscle strength has, like, fucking triplicated. I keep saying, like, am I suddenly stronger, or am I, like, a superhero now? It's probably a little of both. Superhero that gets bit by sharks, maybe. We can come up with anything, really. The point is that my chicken arms, or they're not really chicken arms, but you know, that waddle, that's going away because I'm literally picking up bureaus and dressers with one hand. So I don't want to say I'm Superman or Superwoman or super whatever, but I just might be. So that is what got me here. There's a whole lot that we can go over about strokes, and I do plan to share that. I don't want anyone to go through the stuff I went through. And if I can stop it, if I can prevent one person from dealing with this or dying because being stupid like me, it's fine. Well, I'm probably not, stroke it out. So that's the journey. That's our buzzword, right? Journey. That's the journey I'm on. Super long video. I'll have to cut it up into a bunch of pieces, but I think this is a good start. So let's start here. I'm a year and a half post strokes. Post-surgery, I'm alive. I'm healthier. I'm braver. And I'm ready for the next part of my life to start. Let's go.